All right, fellas. So, I don't ordinarily do like the partial runs. However, I remember my last virtual Ultimate Clash run being close to an hour. So the one before the special anniversary edition, right? So the where we had Metal Cooler as the boss, which is this grouping as well. So I know some folks like the long form videos. If you guys like long form videos, I have no problems at all doing a long form video. Matter of fact, I will be dropping one here pretty soon. The honest to goodness truth is my IRL has just been so busy, man. I am way behind on videos, and I truly am doing my best. I really am trying my hardest to get videos out as often as I possibly can. I will spare you the details of my life, but just know that your boy is trying his best. So that's all I wanted to say. We can kind of hop back into the video here. So you guys may notice, so we are on Evil Boo. So let's backtrack a little bit. So we are in stage 3 of the virtual Dokkan Ultimate Clash, right? And this is where things really just start to really ramp up in difficulty. So stages 1 and 2, you could probably do with your eyes closed. You could realistically use any team. Probably just mono-type teams would do the trick. However, in this batch of the virtual Ultimate Clash, I think it's a much better idea, if feasible, I think it's a much better idea to try to run category teams. Now, on the top end of units, so let's call it, I really don't know the percentage, but just for all intents and purposes, let's call it the top 10% of the game. They're going to have guard, damage reduction, dodge, these types of really good defensive mechanics, to where you could maybe run a type neutral unit in the Ultimate Clash, aka Dokkan Battlefield. In the past, it was a really bad idea to try to run, type neutral or type disadvantaged characters. But again, the top end of characters are just so crazy powerful. And you'll see against Metal Cooler. I mean, I've cracked the code on Metal Cooler. He goes down like an absolute bitch these days because of the upper echelon characters, particularly after the 9th anniversary. Just some of these characters are just way too strong, bring way too much to the table for even the mighty Metal Cooler to bring down. So there are other viable strategies out there. I've definitely seen the Peppy Gals team used effectively. Being able to debuff Cooler, being able to stun and seal him. It really makes it not that bad. You just have to be careful. If he does catch you with a super attack, you just might die if you're running suboptimal teams. So just keep that in mind. So typically in this event, before Metal Cooler, before the difficulty really ramped up, you would start, in level 1 and 2, you'd start with your extreme class teams, and then you would move on to your super class teams. Typically speaking, your super STR team is stronger than your extreme STR team. Although maybe that's a bad example, because for a while, extreme STR was probably more powerful than super STR, but you guys know how meta shifts go, right? So I'm actually using my extreme int team. I think I still want to go through and make category teams for all of my Dokkan Battlefield teams. Like, I want to make extreme int. There are enough characters in the game where you can make legit category teams instead of just mono teams. But if you looked at that lineup against Evil Boo, you had Demon Goddess Toa, who dodges, who seals on super, who lowers attack. You had Demon King Piccolo, Piccolo Jr., who has the chance to stun, who still hits pretty darn hard. I mean, considering his age, he's well over a year old at this point. Frieza with the damage reduction, Hirudegarn with the dodge, so he just really didn't stand too much of a chance. So when you start doing multiple things to him, he does go down fairly easy, and if he can't hit you, so he does hit really hard, so if he can't hit you and you dodge him, then he also can't seal you, so that is obviously also an issue. So we were able to take him down with extreme int pretty easily. Oh, and I would be remiss to mention, Fat Boo with the revive is on the squad as well. So right now we are taking down, who is it? Yeah, Now this is not Evil Boo. This is just plain old Fat Boo, right? This is the SSR of the Tech Dokkan Fest, Fat Boo and Evil Boo. And he is int this time around, which means we're using our Super Fizz team. Now, I have animations off on this video just for brevity's sake, because these videos get so crazy long. Yeah, you see, we took a lot of damage there. These guys hit really, really hard. It just is what it is. But you guys can kind of peep the squad here. You know, again, we're going to be able to debuff Boo. One annoying thing that he does, all of these guys, we can just speak for all of them. All of them heal, and all of them can dodge. And then some of them can stun you, some of them can seal you. Dude, these guys are tough. These guys are tough. At the end of the day, you're going to have summoned some powerful characters. And if you summoned a lot in the 9th anniversary, or maybe even like the last worldwide download celebration, you know, maybe you picked up, maybe you did a YOLO single, maybe you pulled Topo or something like that. But you're going to have to, at some point, pull some of the really powerful characters, or you're not going to be able to get through stage 3. You can probably get through some of it. You'll probably be able to get through some of it if you're able to debuff these guys enough. If you have full dodge on your characters, or you're just straight up running a bunch of dodge characters, it's certainly possible. But remember, you only get 30 charges, so that is actually a problem on Metal Cooler. I have yet to encounter that in the other fights. They don't have as much, you know, health and defense and such as that Metal Cooler, you know, super boss, basically. But remember, they've really shifted to this mode being endgame content. So when I first started playing Dokkan, it was really hard to get through the Ultimate Clash, even dating back to like the AGL, I believe he was, well, he wasn't always AGL, obviously he shifted typings, but the Blue Goku. There was a Kid Buu boss, there was a Zamasu boss, there were all, I mean, obviously we remember like Omega Shenron was just absolutely absurd. But they've really shifted it back to not be so easy anymore, right? So this is what I would consider kind of some end game content. So number one, you have to have 112 Dokkan Awakened characters, or at least UR or higher. Typically you want them Dokkan Awakened though. So you need 112, and you have to be level 150 to even attempt the Ultimate Clash. But it was straight up tough, man, to get through some of these bosses if you didn't pull the characters. It's like you can run some of these free-to-play characters and stuff, but they have really... I gotta tell you, Dokkan does a very... typically, they do a very bad job with free-to-play characters. Every now and then you run into one that's just really, really, really incredible. But I mean, you look at the free-to-play characters, even from the 9th anniversary. I think Sleepy Beerus, you could argue, is good for like one turn, right? Where he's got the 80% damage reduction. But that first form Frieza is just like, what is he even doing? Why does he even exist at this point? Some of these free-to-play characters they release are just hot garbage. They have released some gems in the past, even in the recent past. There is a free-to-play Goten and Trunks that they just recently Dokkan Awakened. Recently, I say recently, probably like, I don't know. Jeez, dude, was it... Maybe it wasn't so recent. I can't even remember what celebration, but they just released semi-recently a free-to-play Goten and Trunks who are actually pretty good upon release. One of them stacking defense and raising attack. One of them, I think, is stacking attack and raising defense. And one of them gets like a dodge chance. Like, they're actually not too terrible. Some of the Prime Battle EZAs have been very, very good. The one that comes to mind is for sure First Form Frieza. He's like lowering attack on Super. Nowadays, he's kind of putting up some middling damage stats, but, you know, back in the day when he first dropped, he was putting up summonable unit damage. I mean, they have released some good units, but typically speaking, the free-to-plays are not very good. I believe, I don't know if this is true. I'd have to double check, but I believe all 112 of my units are summonable. I don't think I have any free-to-play characters. Maybe I still have that First Form Frieza. I think I still have him in my Extreme STR roster because there's legitimately no one. There's legitimately no one. But we end up taking down the Fat Boo there. So let's go ahead and shift gears a little bit. So we're running Super STR. And in this particular fight, I decided at the last moment to not bring Beast Gohan. And you guys will see why near the end of the video. I guess I can just kind of give you spoilers until the end of the video. But my thought is there's no chance Metal Cooler can damage Beast Gohan. There's no way that with his entrance animation up in slot 1 with the guard and the damage reduction, there's no way Metal Cooler is going to be able to do shit to him. So my thought was, again, this is the code I have cracked on Metal Cooler, is you just run a full superheroes team, right? It's really easy. It's really easy. As long as you pulled all the new summonable characters, you're good to go. But I decided to run kind of this pseudo final trump card team. I need to work out my Super STR team, quite frankly. So I'm running Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta with no leader skill. And basically everyone else is on final trump card. So we're running a double final trump card leader. So we're running the Dragon Fist, this guy right here. And then we are running the Kaioken Goku. He was, the Part 2 LR from the 6th anniversary, one of the two. So that is a very odd release, right? That Kaioken Goku and the Great Ape Vegeta. Obviously, they're very, very hyped, but they needed to be a dual Dokkan Fest. And I think they will be a dual Dokkan Fest. At some point, we will get Saiyan Saga yet again. And all of you Saiyan Saga fans, myself included, we will be able to feast. That will happen, guaranteed. They could probably make those entrance animations even a bit better. I think so, and less restrictive for sure. So this is one of the more incredible EZAs that we've ever received. This Blue Gogeta and, of course, the Vegito counterpart. Having that 70% chance to dodge makes them relevant, makes them runnable. But this kid Gohan, right? So we're running a final trump card team. There's no way I'm not bringing Kefla. There's no way I'm not bringing Vegito, the STR, LR Vegito, just some of these, pretty powerful Super STR characters, Unfortunately, I can't run Future Gohan. I could bring back Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta and just, make him, do a 120 leader skill. But, this Gohan ended up being not too tough, but quite frankly, I did a run before I recorded this run. And I got smoked because I tried to bring in my best characters and it did not work out because I didn't have characters who debuffed or stunned or sealed. And I was just getting clapped up. They were super attacking in slot 1 before I could even do anything. And then they take down over half your health and you're just screwed, man. You're gonna have a really tough time coming back from that. Especially if you've got no revival characters and this kind of thing on your squad. So this ended up working out really, really well. That Kaioken Goku, he changed orbs, and Kefla were able to get her 6. And Kefla just does so much damage, even for just a TUR or easy. She does so much damage, dude. Her damage is very impressive. She might be the biggest damage dealer on this team, maybe except for Transform Vegito, which is just kind of crazy to think about. But this guy right here is still pretty relevant, man. Remember him, this Kaioken Goku, that is. Kaioken Goku, man, he's got the active skill if conditions are met, and he gets the guaranteed stun, which is really, really big. Now, ironically, this Gohan cannot be stunned, but I believe he is the only boss in Stage 3 that cannot be stunned. And I am unsure if he can dodge. That might be the trade-off, is maybe he can't be stunned, but he can't dodge. I don't remember him dodging at least, so. But again, you guys kind of can peep the strategy here, man. There's really not much to it. We're just doing a lot of damage with type advantage category teams, and we're able to debuff and stun and seal. It's quite simple, and a lot of people are going to get tripped up, and myself included. I got tripped up too. I got a little overconfident with my wailed out box, and it just did not work out for me in the first run. We are now up against Super Garlic Jr. He seals at the beginning of each turn. He seals one character. By the way, very annoying. It can make the match go on a bit longer. Again, which you're subjecting yourself to more opportunities to get super attacked and just absolutely pummeled. You guys can kind of peep it here. Super Tech has some okay characters, for sure. Obviously, UI Goku. He's going on the team. right? But in terms of other leaders, like, who am I really bringing here as a leader? I could probably work out like an Earthbred Fighters team. I decided to bring the Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I figured he would be sufficient enough for Battlefield at the very least, right? He's got the 120% to stats. It was kind of funny in my first run. I forgot he even got his EZA because he was so irrelevant when he got his EZA. He hasn't quite been meta relevant since he came out, unfortunately. He just has no elite defensive mechanics, and he's just, yeah, he can do a nice big attack stat for you, but that's it. that's it. One big attack stat. That's all you get. But Garlic Jr. can also heal. As I mentioned, all of these characters can heal, all of these enemies. And unfortunately right here, he seals up UI Goku. And man, oh man, I swear on everything, like I give my dodge characters full dodge. I swear on everything I do. And for some reason or another, they just do not enjoy dodging for me. I don't really know why. It just kind of is what it is, man. Particularly my 70% chance to dodge characters. And I get it, man. It's not a 100% chance to dodge. But, like, come on, man. You got one job. Dodge the super. And he didn't dodge it. So he ends up getting kind of pummeled here. 219,000. Could have been worse, no doubt. And then he actually takes a normal here as well. Again, we're in a very rough spot already. So that's the issue with these Battlefield bosses, is if things don't drop exactly your way, they can put a lot of pressure on you really, really early on. And they hit hard enough on normals to where they can actually, penetrate guard and damage reduction. I mean, look at them. Look at Garlic Jr., man, penetrating that guard on, not Path to Power, tournament. Wow, World Tournament Goku, if I could speak. Now, this is kind of a rough spot right here. So, number one, we have to give these to Tien, which it's not ideal. He's going to do some damage, but my Tien is only 55%. Like, I would have much rather given these to Super Saiyan 3 Goku, but I have to give them to Tien. We end up getting the full heal. These, 60% support units, they're getting 50% attack and defense per key sphere. So, like, you have to give them all of the key spheres. You have to, right? It's pretty much a necessity. But that was absolutely what saved us right there. Even if we take a super attack here, which we do, we can withstand it because we essentially got the full heal right there. Not essentially, we did get a full heal. And luckily our defense was high enough, and then we have the guard plus the actual, the true guard, the type advantage, class advantage. So luckily we had enough there. Pretty crazy that he tanked better than the newest summonable LR on Global, but we did indeed get him a full field of orbs. So there was a nice big juicy attack stat from our Super Saiyan 3 Goku with a good Link Buddy and support on rotation. So he was pushing, that was almost a 19 million attack stat in Dokkan Battlefield. That is actually pretty insane to think about. So Garlic Jr. going to heal up here, and he does seal UI Goku yet again. Very, very irritating. But this is what these bosses do, man. They seal, especially if they're sealing. Because obviously we're not able to do damage. We're not able to get the effects of the super attack when our allies are sealed. So it's very, very annoying. We're not able to do as much damage. And again, it's just prolonging the fight, making this Garlic Jr. is very annoying. All of these bosses are very annoying. And again, if you get lucky and they don't super you immediately, then you could probably coast through Battlefield and, with just some good RNG. But I have found that almost all these bosses, dude, they're super attacking right away. Right away. I don't know what the percentages are, but it's got to be nearly it's got to be 30-40% of their super attack percentages, like how often they're super attacking. It has to be because they just seem to super attack early and often. So again, our big damage dealer is sealed here. Shocker that Garlic Jr. would do that to us. Luckily, I think this World Tournament Goku, I don't know why I can't remember his name, 23rd World Tournament Goku. Luckily, I think he's going to be able to tank. He's built up enough here And unfortunately, Garlic Jr. has a mixed super attack. We get the dodge, which is crucial. I was wondering when we would get a dodge, because my guy, he doesn't have full dodge, but he's pretty close. I think I have him with like 12 dodge, something in the ballpark. Back when he came out over a year ago, I decided I wanted to go additional with some dodge instead of dodge with some additional. I think if he were to come out today, I would certainly reverse that, but once I pull more copies, I'll feed in the dupes. And I will go ahead and change his hidden potential system around. But we have actually stuck around long enough to get the domain with UI Goku, which is just crazy. And guess what? He fucking sealed him again, bro. Again, he sealed him. But now it's not even a question, right? So everyone's getting attack defense because everyone's super class. Everyone's getting a dodge chance. And this guy, he did seal our super attack, but luckily we can still dodge and counter. So that is really, really good. I don't believe Garlic Jr. makes it past this UI Goku. So my Super STR team and my Super Tech team, I definitely need to rework a little bit so I can kind of optimize them for the next battlefield. Remember, this battlefield is only 6 days long. And actually, at this point, it's like we have 5 days left to complete it. So I do need to get right on that. So yeah, and then Garlic Jr. I think is just done. I can't believe he sealed him again, dude. That is just so wild. Do we take him down here with a nice 1 million attack stat? We do. 3 million crit. I like to see that. I like to see that. All right. So this is where Big Daddy Metal Cooler comes out. Metal Cooler. I was able to foderize him in this fight. I mean, you guys will see. It's really no secret. He is STR type this time around. He got fodderized pretty darn good. And I would wager moving forward, this is just going to be the team I use. There's really no reason to bring other units. As I talked about early in this video, just some of these units just have so much utility, you know, all the big defensive mechanics. There's no way that he can do anything against us. He might catch one of our units or something like that. But the weakest unit on the team, who do I bring? Who is the weakest unit? Probably STR UI Goku, probably, because he could maybe get caught with a super attack, but I don't think he dies. If he gets one dodge, maybe 2 dodges, and then takes a super, if he builds up a little bit of defense, I don't think he dies on a super attack. You know, it might take him getting caught multiple times. Remember, y'all, you'll always be able to bring the Tech God Goku, who has 77% damage reduction against movie bosses. So he is always going to be a viable option. Even if Metal Cooler were extreme int type, you still want to bring God Goku. He's just, again, these battlefield bosses are strong, but they're not as strong as, like, you know, the toughest Supreme Magnificent Battle bosses, for instance, or, you know, obviously, like, Goku and Frieza isn't even on Global yet. But this Cooler's probably not even on the level of Blue Zone Gogeta, for instance, or the Beast Gohan fight. I would definitely say those are both tougher fights. I think the issue you run into, unfortunately, though, is that no items and you can't use a friend unit, right? You're using all your own units. So that is certainly a problem. But again, double superhero team. Oh, Gamma 1 and 2, they are another unit who could potentially get caught. But I think once you exchange and you're able to do that, and then do, of course, the standby skill, I think that Cooler's not going to be able to penetrate, you know, that baseline 50% damage reduction, and then, you know, the multiple super attacks, etc., etc. I don't think he's got enough juice in him. Orange Piccolo potentially could get caught. Remember with Orange Piccolo, in case you guys have forgotten, because it's been a minute, you don't want to do his Orange Piccolo mode. Remember that you're gonna burn up those charges. You guys can see 27 charges. You guys burn up charges when you use the LR Piccolo active skill. Even though you'll eliminate his super attacks, which is obviously useful, it's less time for you to kill him. So that is a problem. You could maybe do it as maybe as a last-ditch effort, but I still don't think it's a really good idea. Maybe if you have very, very low health or something like that and you can pop it, maybe it's not the worst idea if you still have some big damaging characters on your squad. But look at that. We're able to seal him. If I just keep God Goku on rotation, I mean, we can just straight up seal Lot Cooler. And it's just GG's for him, man. Being able to stun and seal these battlefield bosses is really a death sentence for him. When they can't attack you, you can't lose. It's just that simple. Stunning might be the strongest mechanic in the game. I know everyone talks about dodge, but I think if you really think about it, if bosses were able to be stunned, you just bring in a stunning character, they literally can't attack you, and you literally can't lose. Look at Cell Max. So, right, he's able to be sealed beyond turn 4, and I believe he's able to be stunned, is it beyond turn 9 or something like that? He can be stunned. So, like, he can't attack you, you can't take damage, you can't lose, right? Particularly if you're doing it every single turn or every 2 turns. So UI Goku has his 100% chance to dodge. I figured at this point, we'll just go ahead and float off Gamma 1, and then we'll keep Gamma 1 and 2 on rotation. To look at how much damage we're able to do to Cooler, man. I mean, there's just no way I wasn't going to utilize the 100% dodge chance and potentially get triple super, triple crit with his giant attack stats. Remember, he's getting a double 200% leader skill currently. All of these units are. That's pretty crazy, right? Because they are all movie heroes, right? I believe so. Well, except for the UI Gokus, of course. But I think they are on Entrusted Will. At least AGL UI Goku is on Entrusted Will. So he at least gets the 200% leader skill. So maybe STR UI is not getting the 200%. I don't know all of his categories right off the rip, and considering the inconsistency with Dokkan's categories, I mean that's a tall ask of someone. So, guys, you guys can kind of tell we're absolutely fodderizing Metal Cooler. He cannot do anything against us. Again, particularly when he's just stunned and can't attack, or sealed and can't super attack. And all of these characters are doing 10 million plus attack stats with crits, dodging. Again, like, the superhero squad is just stacked, and there's really no sense. Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and float off God Goku at this point, because he's not gonna make it, right? Metal Cooler's not gonna make it 3 turns from now, or excuse me, 2 turns from whatever. Yeah, 3 turns from now. So decided to go ahead and get the unit super attack with Beast Gohan. I thought that it was worth it. Now, this would have been problematic if, like, he stunned on super, but guess what? He does not stun on super. So we're able to get the unit super attack. And potentially with the unit super, not potentially, every time you get the unit super, he dodged, unfortunately, but you can cancel an enemy action, which can disable one of his super attacks. So another viable strategy, certainly, in any fight, is to disable the enemy action. I think that's always a good strategy to employ, if you possibly can. It's still a fairly rare ability at this point. Another character you could use in this fight, I didn't really talk about other teams you could bring. I did mention Peppy Gals. You can literally just debuff him to holy hell, stun him, seal him, all of this stuff. I mean, think of, like, Launch. Launch is able to do, like, 4 or 5 super attacks a turn, and she's, like, greatly lowering attack every super attack. You have Int Ribrianne. Int Ribrianne is just passively lowering attack per Peppy Gal ally. She's sealing. Like, you can just get it done with Peppy Gals. That is probably the best strategy, or full superhero squad. You could potentially work out some other teams too. Like, you could probably work out, like, a joined forces / movie heroes squad with the Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta. I think they could be pretty effective in this fight with their baseline damage reduction. The fight would last long enough. Yeah, we'll go ahead and just get the standby here. I mean, might as well. Excuse me, the active skill. Anyway, we kill Cooler, right? So, bring your full superhero squad. That is the video, guys. This was a real long one. This was almost 30 minutes long. So if you enjoyed it, slap a like on it. Consider subscribing if you're new. Let me know what videos you guys want to see in the future. Love you guys, and I will catch you in the next one.